Beware. God is trying to save you from a man. The name will shock you. My beloved child. My beloved child, listen with every part of your spirit, because what you are about to hear is not a coincidence, not a random message, and definitely not something you stumbled upon by accident. This is a divine interception unfolding right in front of your eyes. Something huge is waiting for you, and before it arrives, heaven is pulling you closer so you don't fall into the trap that has been forming silently around you. There is a man, someone whose presence looks harmless, whose tone feels friendly, whose actions appear ordinary, but the intentions behind his smile are not aligned with your destiny. This message reaches you at the exact second his influence begins to weaken, because God does not allow a hidden plan to continue when your breakthrough is near. That is why your spirit feels uneasy around him. That is why conversations with him leave your energy heavy. That is why you keep noticing small red flags that your heart tries to ignore. And that is also why you are hearing this now. God is stepping between you and a road that would have stolen your peace, your focus, and your blessings. Amen. Blessing 111. Now, pay very close attention, because this part will shake you. My beloved child, the name of this man, when it enters your mind, will not come as a surprise. In fact, the moment it flashes in your thoughts, you will feel a sudden chill in your chest, because deep down you already know exactly who this person is. The universe has been dropping hints, sudden misunderstandings, unexpected mood shifts, unexplained tension, tiny patterns of manipulation disguised as kindness. You kept brushing it aside as normal behavior, but heaven says it wasn't normal. It was strategic. This person has been studying your emotional patterns, observing your reactions, and quietly analyzing how to gain space in your life for reasons that are not pure. God is revealing this to you now because your next chapter requires absolute clarity, and any attachment to the wrong person could delay what is meant to arrive before the year ends. Something huge is waiting for you, and divine timing refuses to let this man interfere any longer. The moment you realize his name, your entire perception will shift. Amen. Blessing 222. My beloved child, this revelation is not here to create fear, it is here to awaken your discernment, sharpen your intuition, and prepare your soul for the magnitude of blessings approaching you. This man's intentions were never strong enough to destroy you, because protection has been around you long before he entered the picture, but his presence could have slowed you down, distracted you, and drained you emotionally. God says, enough. Your energy is too precious, your destiny too powerful, your upcoming elevation too massive to be touched by someone who does not carry clean intentions. Something huge is waiting for you, and this is the final warning before your blessings accelerate. The truth is simple: when God removes someone from your path, it is because their chapter in your story has expired, and no amount of hope, loyalty, or attachment can rewrite a destiny that heaven has already corrected. You are being lifted, guided, protected, and aligned with something far greater than you imagine. Trust this message. Let your spirit understand what your eyes cannot yet see. Amen. Blessing 333. My beloved child. My beloved child, the moment you stepped into this part of the message, the entire spiritual atmosphere around you shifted, because now you are entering the layer where hidden intentions begin to expose themselves. Something huge is waiting for you, and before it arrives, God is clearing every shadow that tried to stand between you and your destiny. This man, yes, the one whose name silently echoes in your chest right now, has been observing your light more closely than you think. He admires it, but he also fears it. He approaches you with softness, yet behind his politeness hides an energy of possession, envy, or quiet control. Heaven has watched him studying your vulnerabilities, noticing when your heart is tired, when your confidence dips, when your emotions soften. He believes these are entry points. But what he doesn't understand is that you are not walking alone. Your spirit is guarded, your path is sealed, and every step you take is monitored by divine presence. That is why God is interrupting this connection before it becomes an obstacle. Amen. Blessing 444. My beloved child, listen closely because this part is crucial. This man has recently taken an interest in your progress. Not to celebrate it, but to measure it. He senses that something powerful is coming your way, and instead of supporting your rise, he fears being left behind by it. Each time you level up emotionally, spiritually, or financially, he feels a tightening in his chest. Heaven is revealing this because someone who secretly competes with your blessings cannot walk beside your purpose. Something huge is waiting for you, and God refuses to let anyone with jealousy, manipulation, or hidden intentions drain the momentum that is building around you. This is why your life has been feeling like a spiritual tug-of-war, one side pulling you upward, the other side trying to hold you back. But now, the divine decision is made. The cycle is breaking. The mask is falling. The truth is rising. Amen. Blessing 555. My beloved child, before this part ends, you must hear this with complete awareness. The reason this message found you right now is because your breakthrough is approaching faster than expected. Heaven wants you alert, awake, and surrounded by the right people. This is your confirmation that the uneasiness you felt recently was not imagination, it was divine warning. Something huge is waiting for you, and God is making sure nothing and no one dilutes your glow before the blessing reaches you. Now, pause for a moment, breathe deeply, and allow your intuition to speak. If a name is forming in your thoughts, don't dismiss it. That is your sign. That is the man God is protecting you from. And before you move to the next part, take one simple action to keep this divine message moving through the universe. Drop a simple Amen in the comments to seal your protection, because spiritual agreements matter. Amen. Blessing 666. My beloved child. My beloved child, as you step into part 3, the revelation deepens, and the spiritual clarity surrounding you sharpens like a beam of light cutting through confusion. Something huge is waiting for you, and right before it arrives, God is removing every person whose presence could delay, dilute, or distort your destiny. This man, the one whose name keeps appearing in your thoughts like a whisper you cannot ignore, has been carrying an energy that does not match your divine assignment. God has watched how he notices your inner strength, yet subtly tries to influence your decisions. God has seen the moments when he presents himself as supportive, but underneath, carries motives that are rooted in insecurity, attachment, or quiet manipulation. You may not have seen it clearly with your physical eyes, but your spirit felt the tension, the imbalance, the discomfort. You are not imagining it. Your intuition was being activated. Heaven is not exposing him to shame him, heaven is exposing him to protect you. Amen. Blessing 777. My beloved child, now hear this with full awareness. This man has recently sensed that you are rising into a season that does not include his influence. That is why his behavior may have changed suddenly. More questions, more attention, more curiosity about your plans, more subtle attempts to remain in your emotional space. But understand this, when someone feels you slipping out of their grip, their reactions reveal their true intentions. God is revealing that his sudden interest is not love, it is fear. Not fear of losing you, but fear of losing the access he once had to your time, your patience, your empathy, or your energy. Something huge is waiting for you, and God is making sure you walk into that blessing untouched by emotional confusion. Every delayed message, every strange feeling, every odd conversation in the last few days is part of this divine exposure. You are being shown the truth before it becomes a burden. Amen. Blessing 888. My beloved child, before this part ends, you must understand why the timing of this message is so precise. You are approaching a major elevation, an emotional, spiritual, and personal upgrade that will shift your entire life. God does not allow anyone with unclear intentions to enter the doorway of your next season. The name rising in your mind right now is not random, it is a spiritual signal. Something huge is waiting for you, and the moment you release the wrong connection, the right blessing will flow toward you without resistance. You are stepping into a chapter where your peace will be protected, your energy elevated, and your path illuminated. Do not fear what is being removed, celebrate what is being prepared. Let your intuition guide you, and let God reveal what your eyes were too kind to see. This protection is not loss, it is preparation. Amen. Blessing 999. My beloved child. My beloved child, the spiritual curtain is lifting completely, and the truth that was once hidden in shadows is now unfolding in front of you with undeniable clarity. Something huge is waiting for you, and before it enters your life, God is making sure that every distraction, every draining connection, and every person with concealed intentions is removed from your path. This man, the one whose name keeps flashing in your spirit, was not placed in your life by divine alignment. He came as a test, not a blessing. He came as a lesson, not a lifelong presence. God allowed his presence only long enough for you to learn what your soul must never tolerate again. And now, the season that once required him has expired. You may have felt emotional weight around him recently, as if your spirit was becoming tired without reason. That was heaven pulling your energy back. God is closing the door because what's coming next requires a heart free from manipulation, fear, and emotional chaos. Amen. Blessing 111. My beloved child, the reason this message is reaching you with such force is because your breakthrough is not somewhere far in the future, it is close, extremely close. So close that heaven refuses to let you walk into it with someone who would secretly envy your success, question your growth, or quietly hope that you stay dependent on them. God has seen his jealousy, his silent comparisons, his attempts to understand your weaknesses, and his effort to keep himself relevant in your life even when his chapter is over. Something huge is waiting for you, and the next few weeks will reveal why divine separation was necessary. A shift is coming. A transformation is unfolding. And the moment you create emotional distance from this man, you will feel a strange sense of peace flowing back to you. That peace is confirmation. That peace is protection. That peace is God speaking directly to your spirit, saying, "You made the right choice." Amen. Blessing 111. My beloved child, before this part ends, understand this final truth: God is not just removing the wrong person, He is preparing the right moment, the right opportunity, the right alignment, and the right blessing to enter your life without interference. The name you keep thinking of is not a coincidence, it is spiritual insight rising from deep within your intuition. Something huge is waiting for you, and once this connection fully dissolves, doors that were stuck will open, paths that were blocked will clear, and blessings that were delayed will rush toward you with divine speed. You are stepping into a destiny that was written long before this man appeared, and no human influence is strong enough to rewrite what heaven has sealed. Trust the separation. Honor your intuition. Protect your energy. The revelation is not meant to scare you, it is meant to free you. Your next chapter begins the moment you finally listen to what your spirit has been trying to tell you. Amen. Blessing. My beloved child. My beloved child, you are entering the deepest layer of this revelation, the level where God stops hinting and begins showing you the truth with absolute clarity. Something huge is waiting for you, and before that divine moment arrives, heaven is making sure you are no longer walking toward your destiny with someone whose presence could contaminate your peace. The man you keep thinking about, the one whose name feels heavy on your spirit, is not just a random person. He is someone who has been assessing your emotions, analyzing your routines, and observing your vulnerabilities more closely than you realized. He sees your strength, but he also detects moments when your heart softens, and those are the moments he tries to draw near. God has watched him trying to build emotional influence over you in subtle ways, through sudden concern, unexpected compliments, abrupt mood swings, or quiet attempts to remain relevant in your life. None of this is an accident. None of this is random. Heaven allowed you to see his patterns because your spirit needed to awaken before you stepped into the greatest shift of your life. This man carries an energy that is not compatible with your calling. His presence would slow your progress, blur your clarity, and drain your emotional reserves. That is why God is cutting this cord, firmly, finally, and permanently. Amen. Blessing 333. My beloved child, now listen with absolute focus, because what you are about to hear is one of the most crucial parts of this entire message. There is a reason why every time you try to distance yourself from him, something pulls you back. There is a reason why conversations with him feel warm in the beginning but leave you feeling emotionally drained afterward. There is a reason why your intuition keeps whispering, something is off, even when your mind tries to give him the benefit of the doubt. This is spiritual warfare disguised as emotional confusion. God has been placing signs, sudden misunderstandings, unexpected changes in his tone, strange coincidences, unusual behaviors, and moments when you felt watched even without physical presence. All of these were divine alerts. This man has been carrying intentions that do not match the purity of your heart. Whether it is hidden insecurity, silent envy, subtle control, or emotional manipulation, his spirit does not align with your next level. Something huge is waiting for you, and heaven refuses to let him cross the threshold into your blessing. God has seen his reaction whenever you rise. God has seen the flicker of jealousy whenever you talk about your dreams. God has seen the discomfort he hides behind forced smiles when you step into your power. And now, the divine timeline has shifted. You are being elevated to a place where only people with clean energy can stand beside you. This separation is not punishment, it is protection. Amen. Blessing, 444. My beloved child, before this part ends, you must understand why heaven timed this message so precisely. You are entering a season of alignment, acceleration, and divine fulfillment. Everything you lost, everything you endured, everything that felt confusing or painful is beginning to make sense, because the pieces of your destiny are falling into place. But the presence of the wrong person can delay every blessing meant for you. God is refusing to let that happen. The name that keeps rising in your mind right now is not imagination, it is revelation. Your spirit already knows the truth, and this message is simply the final confirmation. Something huge is waiting for you, and once you emotionally detach from this man, your life will begin moving with a speed you have never experienced before. Opportunities will appear out of nowhere. Peace will return to your soul. Strength will rise in your heart. Clarity will sharpen your vision. And the divine blessing that has been waiting for your spirit to be free will finally reach you. Do not hold on to someone God is removing. Do not question the separation. What you lose now will be replaced by something 10 times greater. The next chapter of your life is sacred, protected, and aligned. Walk into it with confidence. This revelation is heaven's final warning and heaven's greatest protection. Amen. Blessing 555. My beloved child. My beloved child, as you walk into part 6, the air around you becomes heavier with truth, because now you are entering the level where divine protection becomes undeniable and the spiritual intention behind this message becomes unshakable. Something huge is waiting for you, and before it arrives, God is pulling you out of every connection that was quietly blocking your blessings. The man whose name keeps echoing in your mind, yes, that one, is not just someone you need distance from. He is someone whose presence was beginning to interfere with the divine frequency of your life. You may not have noticed it fully, but slowly, little by little, your energy began shifting whenever he entered your space. Your focus became clouded. Your peace felt interrupted. Your intuition felt strained. And this was no coincidence. Heaven saw how he tried to understand your weaknesses so he could present himself as the solution. Heaven saw how he magnified your moments of vulnerability to deepen his emotional access. Heaven saw how he used softness when you needed strength and silence when you needed clarity. All of this was part of a pattern that God is breaking once and for all. You were never supposed to carry this emotional weight into your next chapter. Amen. Blessing 444. My beloved child, now listen carefully, because this part carries the revelation that changes the entire direction of your story. This man has been sensing your spiritual elevation. He knows something is shifting around you, something powerful, something transformative, something that will push you into a place he cannot follow. That is why he recently became more persistent, more curious, more unpredictable, or more emotionally confusing. He is not holding on to you, he is holding on to the access he once had to your spirit. But what he doesn't understand is that God is placing a divine barrier around your energy. Something huge is waiting for you, and the jealousy he hides behind polite words, the discomfort he masks behind compliments, and the subtle attempts to keep you emotionally available are proof that his intentions are not aligned with your elevation. God has watched the moments when he tried to plant doubt in your mind, the moments when he minimized your achievements, the moments when he pretended to support you but secretly questioned your growth. Heaven has seen every hidden emotion he attempted to cover with charm. And now, the spiritual verdict is final, he cannot come with you any further. Amen. Blessing 777. My beloved child, before this part concludes, you need to understand one powerful truth: separation is not loss when it is orchestrated by God. What feels like disconnection is actually protection. What feels like silence is actually guidance. And the name that your heart keeps identifying is rising because heaven wants you fully aware. Something huge is waiting for you, and the moment you release this man from your spiritual journey, the divine blessing that has been circling your life will finally land. You will notice your spirit feel lighter, your thoughts clearer, your path brighter. Signs will begin aligning effortlessly. Peace will return as if it never left. And you will realize that God was not taking something away, he was making space for what is truly meant for you. Trust the timing. Trust the guidance. Trust the separation. Your next chapter is sacred, and this divine message is the final confirmation that God has stepped in, not to warn you, but to save you. Amen. Blessing. My beloved child. My beloved child, as you step into part 7, the spiritual atmosphere becomes sharper, clearer, and more direct, because this is the stage where God stops merely warning you and begins redirecting your destiny with firm hands. Something huge is waiting for you, and heaven is not taking any chances with the people allowed near your spirit. The man whose name keeps rising inside you, yes, the same one who suddenly feels heavy in your energy, is not a random presence. He was a temporary character, never meant to become permanent, and God is making sure you finally see the truth without confusion. Every recent shift, his unusual silence, sudden interest, unpredictable tone, emotional distance, or forced closeness, was a sign. A sign that something behind his behavior is not aligned with your divine journey. God has been showing you small glimpses, the way he questions you, the way he mirrors your emotions without understanding them, the way he hides his insecurity behind politeness. And now, heaven is revealing the full picture. His intentions are not strong enough, pure enough, or steady enough to walk into your blessing with you. Amen. Blessing 999. My beloved child, the truth is this: this man has been observing your transformation more than he has been supporting it. He doesn't want to lose you, but he also doesn't want to see you rise higher than him. So he stays close enough to watch, but distant enough to protect his ego. Heaven has seen this imbalance. God has seen how he tries to maintain emotional influence over you without offering the respect, clarity, or sincerity your spirit deserves. Something huge is waiting for you, and God refuses to let confusion, jealousy, or hidden control follow you into this next phase. This is why the signs around you have grown stronger, moments of tension that appear out of nowhere, unexpected emotional dips, random thoughts that feel like warnings, dreams that feel symbolic, and sudden intuition that feels louder than usual. These are not coincidences, they are divine signals echoing the same message: do not allow this man access to your next chapter. You are rising into a season he is not prepared to honor. Amen. Blessing 222. My beloved child, before this part closes, listen deeply. The name that your spirit keeps repeating is not coming from fear, it is coming from discernment. You are not misjudging the situation. You are not imagining the shift. You are not overreacting. You are recognizing the truth. Something huge is waiting for you, and God is making sure nothing and no one distracts you from that blessing. Once this man's emotional influence weakens, your entire life will open like a door that was locked for too long. Peace will return. Clarity will sharpen. Strength will rise. Signs will align. And your blessings that were delayed because of emotional interference, will finally move toward you with divine speed. Do not cling to someone God is removing. Release what your spirit is outgrowing. Trust the shift. Trust the awakening. Trust the separation. Your destiny is too powerful to be interrupted now. Amen. Blessing 222.